Good morning everyone and welcome to Roughhouse Arnis tutorial number 10. Today we're going to look at high level blocks, one coming down which we've done before, one from the left hand side and one from the right hand side as we see it. Simple things with this, as with everything, add everything back into your footwork drills, add everything back into your other drills, but today I'm going to keep it really simple, just work on the blocks. So, first block. There are many ways of looking at blocks. In fact, I'm going to do the single stick first of all. Some people look at this sort of thing. Some people look at this. Some people look at purely this. Some people even look at this. For my purposes, for Roughhouse, I want you to look at the idea of this. Throwing the stick into the attack. You notice the first thing I do is I step forward in defensive footwork. Bear in mind again, you could step back into defensive footwork. But the whole point is, I'm not trying to block it like this. The reason being is if the full weight comes down on that, that's going to be damage to my hand. If it's a machete or a bladed weapon I'm putting my hands possibly in danger, I would throw into this and have this hand free to then do what I require. So let's just look at the first one, which was the upward block. This is coming against this sort of angle of attack, but if it came in from any of these angles, depending on timing, you're probably going to pick it up. And depending on whether you're going forward or going back in defence, you'll probably pick it up or not. So just look at the first part. We're going to step forward and throw the stick up in defence. This I'm going to break down as the next move comes here. The next move has to be the stick attacking, because what we don't want to do is block and then go back to a position whereby they're going to attack me again, or I haven't done anything about it. So I need to do something about it. If you're going to block, don't block and stand there. Block and do something. So the simple point is, here and step forward. Stepping forward allows me two things. First thing is, it pushes the opponent back with the stick going towards them, but notice this stick immediately is coming back to the shoulder, chambered to fire at any direction that I need to do it. So just one more time, up, attack, and then we can move in to whatever we require. At the moment, we're doing right stick up. It could just as easily be left stick up. And notice this time, I will step with the right foot to attack, and then we go back into action. Another small technical point, obviously, I can put the stick up and step back. Then I come forward. Play with your footwork, play with your variations, then add it back into your clock footwork. We might have a little look at that a bit later. The next block we're going to look at is in this quarter, if you like. So in this section here, there's a strike coming down at this sort of angle. Now, I don't know where that strike's going to land. It could land here, 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 or it could even be landing for the leg or the hip. This is why I prefer the idea of stepping forward into a block rather than back. Because if the person raises up the arm to strike down to my leg, if my timing is in here, I attack the arm. If I'm stepping back, however, this gives a chance for their weapon to come into play. So I like the aggressive approach to blocking. The second block's really simple. We're going to push the stick out and we're going to throw it out with this stick. So literally we're going to go one, then step forward, then go into whatever you require. So as we go again, one, step forward. Come straight back to the shoulder. We could equally just go one, yeah, and then step forward. Or we can actually go one and step back, but there, really, that's someone that's advancing at good speed, but play with the footwork. Your forward and back motions will depend on what your opponent's doing. Again, my preference is come forward, yeah, even if they're coming at you, because they've got to come onto this. Notice the stick straight away comes back here. You can play with the idea of hitting down as you push forward. This won't have a lot of power. It's there to be intimidating. Whereas if I actually block here and hit down, that's going to have an awful lot more intimidation about it. It brings this straight back into the shoulder. So we've had upward block, outward block, upward block, outward block. Now we're going to look at this quarter. In essence, almost the same thing. I'm going to throw the stick out using this as reinforcement, but this time we're going to have the hand facing this way, because obviously that's not really practical. So as I step forward, I'm here. Now the strike comes here to put the stick forward. Yeah, so it's a nice little flick shot, but again, you're putting that barrier in play. So we work on nice and simple. We step here, here, then you move into whatever you require. Again, here, and then I can step forward with this. I can step back. I can stay still, and then move forward. Play in all the areas. Just a quick refresher of all three. 1, 2, 3. Every time, punching out towards the weapon. Passive footwork to accept the block. If you get it wrong and go like this, hey, so what? That's just what happens in a fight. That's just natural. But your best bet is if you turn your hips and your body to attack the weapon that's attacking you. A couple of little finer points. Once you got used to doing it with 2 sticks, pick up a weapon. As I said before, if you're going to throw a weapon up, I suppose you're okay, but you don't want a weapon coming back onto the side of a blade. It's usually the weakest point. So my preference is here and stepping forward. Likewise here, push out, stepping forward. And here, push out and stepping forward. So we just literally go into this sort of move. Again, it's the intimidation of this move, but with a bladed weapon it becomes much more lethal. Once we've done it with a blade, do it with a hand. And eventually work into the whole idea of blocking here, or blocking here. Play. The whole idea is it shouldn't matter what's in your hand. Also think about working with the weapon in the opposite hand, but still using the right side to block. You can still get the whole effect of hitting here and attacking. Hitting here and attacking. Even hitting here, coming over the top, or hitting here and coming in. The whole point is, it shouldn't matter what's in your hands. What matters is what you're doing. My preference, attack forward in defence rather than defend backwards in defence. Sometimes you can't control that. That's the end. Tutorial number 10.